Who's up first? It's going to be my man, Jareem. Opening up with a Ring of Fire. He got himself the full set. It looks so good. Full burst out of Kokana. Touching the magic with a Ring of Fire that's going to be doing so much damage over time. Burning right through and amplified by the touch of the magic. Big blast by Jareem trying to see if he can get away from Kokana. It's going to be huge charge with a Metamorphosis overshadowed a little bit, but Kokana needs as much self-healing as they can. The more damage you do to the guy that's affected with a Night Fae haunt ability, the more healing you're gonna get. You gotta get super hyper aggressive. Try to see if you can reach Jareem. Just a couple more globals only need. Darkness down, maybe that'll give you a little bit of cover. Jareem is gonna hit you with a Ring of Fire, rushing out, hit by the flames. Not gonna be in a great spot. Blade rush, blade dance, but it looks like it's gonna be Jareem going in for a full on ice block. I don't know if Koketa has any kind of mage foot on the team. They do have Jayhawk, shoots it down for food as soon as possible, but Jareem got himself full-on recovery. He's doing A-okay. A Ring of Frost around the corner. Koketa trying to get himself a better angle versus Jareem. Full in prison right after. Does he have himself a big go yet? Got himself at least blades thrown in. Blink by Jareem with the touch of the magic. Koketa, at least in Metamorphosis, cannot catch up to Jareem whatsoever. Stuns him finally to lock him down, but Jareem, full touch of the magic, crushes the demon hunter in his wake. With Alistair, no, Soldier is going to be up next. Giving Jareem as much of an auto duel as possible by the looks of it. He needs to play this one super carefully. Jareem, it's quite a cracked little mage. Going to be a full army of the dead. AMS to block the polymorph. Got himself the grippy hand to hopefully start blasting out Jareem. Gripping up the rest of the team too. Doesn't mean to do so. Grippy hand has a mind of its own. Breath out onto Soldier as Jareem trying to give himself as much distance as possible. The second interrupt is available by the ghoul stun right after. Oh, Jareem not getting an opportunity to cast anything at all. Oh my goodness. CC'd, interrupted, locked out. They're not even get a chance against the army of the undead. Their deaths are so good as an anti-caster class, aren't they? Grifka, as a rogue, is going to be up next. For Soldier, he does have just about everything for this. He doesn't have a silence, which is not going to be able to against a rogue. He doesn't have the full army of the dead. He doesn't have his apocalypse yet, but he does have a goal that can maybe stun lock Grifka. ABF immediately for Soldier as he goes in for IMS as well. Got himself the swarm. Should be able to cut out the rogue. Gonna be a disarm. Does not really need his weapon in order to do a lot of his damage. Dropping on a dome in case there's gonna be more shadow damage by the rogue, and that's a shadow blades too, which is gonna be able to dampen a lot of damage. Grifka can take lots of hits back to back. Cloaker Shadow's evasion as well after. It's gonna be a vanish to follow. That's Soldier just absolutely turning around on the rogue. He still has himself the human racial. As long as you have some kind of like a go to stop Grifka's next opener, you might be okay. Got himself Lichborn, looking for that refreshment, dropping that Death of Decay, picking himself up as much food as possible, making it difficult for Grifka to walk in. He does not have an angle. He could throw, distract once. That's really about it. Walking in, you're going to see him. Gouge. Could go for a pet stun. AMS before he goes in for that secret technique. So at least you can reduce a lot of the damage taken. The ghoul is going to be in. Maybe can go for a proper stun. Going to be Death Claws flying in, but the rogue got himself Shadow Strikes out of the wazoo. LA Blast right after. Grifka is just dead. Trinket for Osmond. Hoping to end it. Grifka immediately does not want to let this rogue run amok. Oh, Lava Burst! He's still down. Hold on, he's still dotted. You still find him. Oh, Lava Bursts are in. Earth Shock to follow. Oh, no. Grifka's trying to go for a kidney shot. This is where you knock him. Just steps right back to you. Trying to see if he can end Osmond right now. Does he get you? There's no shot. He turns it around right here. Burrow down. Knock up. Oh, there's no way that rogue was not. Oh, that is so crazy. I actually would have loved to see Grifka just turn it around on him just like that. But man. That is insane. Oh my goodness. Osmond's been fighting the rogue every single arena so far that Osmond starts to catch up a bit of steam. There's always Grifka waiting for him to just rain on his parade every single time so far. Extension is going to be up next. Trying to see if he can go for a knockback into Osmond, but he doesn't really go anywhere. Elo Blaster flying in. Maybe he can get himself a big go. Big combustions up for Extension. Does have himself the ulti time as well, so he could always reposition. That's going to be an interrupt onto Osmond. But does have himself the Guardian Spirit. As long as he's doing damage to Extension, he can heal himself. And Lava Burst is doing quite a lot of healing. Can always go just for healing while behind the pillar. Fire Elemental does join in. Trinket out of the lasso. Knockback right after as it does root him in place. And Osmond given an opportunity to at least catch up a little bit of health. Charging right in, big breath onto Osmond right after. Earth Shocks with Frost Shocks to follow, and Osmond just trying to see if he can get himself big Lava Burst sent in, interrupt onto Extension. I think just done for the count. That's going to be his cheat death with an Ice Buck to follow. That's a reset for Extension, and for Osmond, that's at least an opportunity to go for a bit of a breather. First time I've seen this man get a proc of Ascendance. That has been so unlucky for him. But now that he's getting those procs, he might be in a great spot. Mad damage, extension, all that health. You're just fading very quickly. Another lava burst, earth shock to follow. Got himself altered, but it's just, unless you could alter this arena entirely in reverse time before you entered, there was just really no way out of this one. That is so rough. That lava burst, dude. Unless you just alter like as it connects or maybe right before it connects, that's the only time I can think of like how you would be able to live it. But that thing just doesn't have health damage where you can't even take one. Big grippy, but it's going to be a lead by Osmond. Timed it so perfectly. He got himself at least a bit of a breather with the stun by the Earth Elemental. If you could root down and slow down Alistair, you'll be golden. Just trying to avoid the Death Knight during his burst. Look at this man with the jukes. Look at his mobility. He's got such a good line of sight of this man. He just stayed away from him the entire time. He's doing such a good job. Ring around the Rosie on this pillar. Does drop down to Earthy Totem in order to root down Alistair. Trying to send in some lava burst in, not getting the procs he's looking for. Alistair has plenty of defenses to work with, still has a lot of damage. Army of the Damned is joining right in. Full army together with like an Apocalypse. Osmond trying to see if he can bail out of there. He does get hit with a chain, but the Ghost Whip keeps him from being slowed entirely. Lasso does force out an IBF out of the guy. Using that Shaman mobility to just stay away from him. Look at him. He just avoided him like a little shyster. Look at this guy. Look at him go. He's so good at line of sighting. I'm literally tracking this man, and you can see he just has perfect line of sight of Alistair the entire time. He's using this little big tombstone so well. Root around the corner. Maybe now you could poke around. Got him some big Pyroblasts in, or Pyroblast, Primordial Blast, together with Lava Burst flying in. Ele Blast on top of it. Knockback with a root onto Alistair, still pelting him with more Lava Burst. Man's got himself an AMS at the ready. But this is where Osmond is going to back up out. He just needs to wait this out a little longer. He got himself another Primordial ready. He got a pet chasing after the guy, knocking the DK back, trying to line of sight, make sure there's no grip. He's just avoiding this guy. Alistair has a silence. He should have Apocalypse, I think, by this point. So he has himself a proper go. He just needs to get an angle. Not much you can do against this lasso, as the man is just going to give himself the lasso to break out with the Earth Elemental, Root Totem to follow, catching up a bit of healing. Alistair just needs one good go. He does go for a silence, locking out Osmond. The man does not have himself the Ghost Whip to be able to fade into. Wall is getting used up, trying to see if he can use that wall aggressively, just charging in versus Alistair, rushing him down. Big Ascendance proc barrages the guy down. With Holy Sai up next, trying to make sure that he gets a Flame Shock early on the guy. Osmond, I don't know if you have anything left here. Holy, with an immunity. You need a Burrow right now. Trying to see if he can escape. Burrow needs to come out immediately. Try to knock the guy. He's just immune. Burrow is up. Maybe could use the Burrow to escape him. You gotta find a way to separate away from the man while catching yourself up a bit of healing. I don't know how you can do that. You have a grounding. Maybe you could use a grounding at some point. Stun Totem, trying to see if you can evade it. Holy, just trying to avoid this as best possible. Osmond was able to evade the Death Knight, but I don't think he'd evade the Paladin the same way. Paladin just has a Hand of Freedom and just enough pony mobility in order to stay on you. Plus the immunities too, right? Plus the immunities on top of it. And the man is just sitting down for some food. He did such a good job. Is it gonna be Jayhawk next? Or maybe it's gonna be Akame? One of those two. I actually really like this mock. Look, he got the belt, he got the gloves, he got himself the shoulders from the Heritage armor, but then he got the Pally set and the Ashes, but like the corrupted version of Ashbringer. Looks good. Looks like it is going to be Jayhawk. A bit of a rematch between the two yet again this evening. Those two have faced each other multiple times in a row now. As Jay sending out a couple of barrages onto Holy Saya. Man just chilling behind the pillar is going to try to see if he can mount up, saving his Hand of Freedoms until he has a good go versus Jayhawk. Until he has himself a big approach. Hand of Freedom together with Pony, trying to give himself some cover, making sure he doesn't get spell stolen. That's going to be a Ring of Fire down. Jayhawk needs to spell steal. They slows immediately. Holy, cut out in the open. Slowed. Not much you can do. Touching the magic on him. Might be a bubble situation. Trying to see if he can delay the bubble with a Shield of Vengeance. That's going to give you a little bit of health to work with. Finally gets close enough towards Jayhawk to be able to finally get some damage in. And Jay not really looking all that healthy. No more ulti time. Breath of the second for a second onto Holy Saya. Does the man have a Hand of Freedom coming back up? Ice Block forced out really early. Holy, super low on health. Got himself a bit of a reset behind the pillar with the regenerating, so you can hold on the bubble or even a lay in hands for until a little bit later. For Jay, that's his one big recovery. Is this shifting power with an Ice Block. For Holy, that's his big recovery, but he also has a second one with a bubble. Will not be able to go for a full health recovery, but having that immunity, especially at high health, is going to be huge. Jay, try to see if we can drop down Ring of Frost inside of the Toxic Slimes. You can't really see the Ring of Frost inside of Toxic Sludge, but Holy Sai is at least able to avoid the fire. Seeing Jayhawk cut across, that is an ulti time with the ready. Jay got himself full burst right now, and is going to be able to reposition, I imagine, back behind. He does get to reposition. I was going to say for a second, like there was a delay to our position. He's going to be able to go for yet another blink. Prismatic on the Radiant, Touch of the Magi, lots of damage for Sai to deal with, does go for the stun, no way for Jade to break out of this one, and Sai has no help whatsoever. Akame could just charge out and end it. Holy may just need to bubble this really early, especially if it's cooldowns on Akame. Blind looking to maybe cut across, cut away. Kama with a pony, as well as maybe had a freedom in case they need it. Should be able to stabilize. Holy with a shield of vengeance. Akame also with a shield of vengeance. Akame needs to charge him. They have the advantage. If you can force a bubble out of Holy, you'll be golden. Shield procs. Akame's still holding on to their shield for the time being. They're actually just an advantage. Holy trying to keep himself alive. Lay on hands. Might have just used the bubble. Apparently Holy Sai used the bubble at some point. I don't know when. I guess he used it against the mage. But that gives Akame then a guaranteed win. Awesome with 3, man. Awesome. Actually finally got Grifka and was able to hold the fort there for a good bit, man. Hell yeah. Alrighty. Let's see if we can get an Uno Mas going, boys. Yeah? Uno Mas.